man who shot his girlfriend 9 times for reportedly disrespecting him, now going to prison for 50 years. That sentence handed down today against Michael Wilkerson. He shot and killed 29-year-old Tisha King at the liquor store where she worked back in 2024.
She went to work that Tuesday morning like any other day, clocked in, helped customers, did her job, and her boyfriend walked in and shot her 9 times because she disrespected him. Make it make sense. Her name was Tikisha King. Everybody who loved her called her Tisha. She was 29 years old. She had a family who adored her, and she had a life that was very much worth living. And on November 12th, 2024, that life was taken from her. Not in some random act of violence, not by a stranger, but by the man who was supposed to love her, in the middle of the day, at her place of work, in front of God and everybody. And his reason? She disrespected him. Period. We are going to talk about this. In every home, behind every closed door, there's a story waiting to be uncovered. Welcome to Dark Whispers, where we dive deep into the hidden truths of domestic crime and the relationships that turn deadly. If you're drawn to real stories, powerful insights, and the shadows most people avoid, you're in the right place. Subscribe now and step into the whispers they never wanted you to hear. Now, Tisha King was a woman who showed up. She had a job. She came in, she worked her shift, she kept things moving. She was working at Ralston Discount Beverages, a liquor store in Southwest Houston, Texas. That's where she spent her days. That's where people knew her face. That's where she built a routine. And then there was Michael Wilkerson. Look, we don't have a long backstory on who Michael Wilkerson was before all of this. What we do know is that he and Tisha were in a relationship, and that by the time November came around, that relationship had run its course, at least as far as Tisha was concerned. Because here's the part that you need to sit with. Tisha was trying to leave. Her family knew it. The people close to her knew it. She had made up her mind that she was done, and she was working toward getting out. And that, right there, is one of the most dangerous moments a woman in a bad relationship can be in. Not when things are at their worst. Not when the fighting is loudest. But the moment she decides to go. That is when things tend to get the most dangerous. And Tisha King was in that exact moment. Now, we don't have a detailed record of every argument, every incident, every red flag that led up to that November afternoon. But we know enough. We know that there was tension. We know that Tisha had reached a point where she no longer wanted to be in that relationship. And we know that Michael Wilkerson was not taking that well. Moving on. Because here is where things go from bad to devastating. Tisha went to work on November 12th, 2024, a Tuesday. She clocked into Ralston Discount Beverages, the same way she had done so many times before. She was at her job. She was in her space. She was just trying to get through the day, and Michael Wilkerson came to find her. He did not call. He did not wait. He walked into that liquor store where she worked, where she was surrounded by the routine of her own life, and he made a decision that cannot be undone. A decision that took everything from her family, from everyone who loved her. And here is where it gets real heavy. Because what happened next was not a moment of blind rage that was over in a second. 9 shots. 9. That is not a moment. That is a choice, made over and over again. Let me tell you something. There is no version of this story where 9 bullets is an accident. There is no version where that is anything other than a man deciding that a woman's life meant less than his ego. It was around 12:45 in the afternoon when police got the call. Shots fired at a liquor store in Southwest Houston. Officers responded to Ralston Discount Beverages and what they found when they walked through that door. Nobody should ever have to see that. Tisha King was there. She had been shot 9 times. 4 of those shots were in her back. 4 bullets in her back. That means she was not facing him when those shots were fired. That means at some point in those final moments, she had turned away. And he kept shooting. She was pronounced dead at the scene. 29 years old. Gone. Michael Wilkerson did not stay. The moment it was done, he ran. He fled that store, and he did not stop there. He threw the gun, the murder weapon, into a bayou. Then he got rid of his clothes on the side of the road. He was covering his tracks, piece by piece, like a man who knew exactly what he had done and exactly what he was trying to hide from. Oh, so now you want to run? After 9 shots, now you want to disappear? Anyways, he did not disappear for long. Investigators did not have to work in the dark for long. Michael Wilkerson had already been identified as a suspect, and the trail he left behind was not exactly subtle. Think about it. He tossed the gun into a bayou. He stripped off his clothes on the side of a road like that was going to erase what he had done. He ran from the scene of a shooting that happened in the middle of the day, in a store, where people were present. Like, did he really think that was going to work? Because here is the thing about running. It tells a story all on its own. An innocent man does not throw his gun into water. An innocent man does not peel off his clothes on a roadside in the middle of the afternoon. Every move Michael Wilkerson made after he walked out of that liquor store was the move of a man who knew exactly what he had done and wanted no part of what was coming for him. And what was coming for him came. When investigators caught up to him, Wilkerson did not stay quiet. He reportedly confessed. And when he explained himself, when he gave his reason for walking into Tisha's workplace and shooting her 9 times, he said she had disrespected him. That was it. That was the whole explanation. Disrespect. Not a threat. Not a danger to his life. Not some situation that spun out of control in a way he could not have stopped. He made a decision. He acted on it. And when asked why, he said she disrespected him. A 29-year-old woman who was just trying to get through her shift went home in a body bag because a man felt disrespected. So what? That is a reason now? That is what we are doing? Let me be clear about something, because this matters. The word disrespect in this context almost certainly means she was pulling away. She was done with him. She was choosing herself. And to him, that felt like disrespect. That is how dangerous it is when a man cannot handle being left. When a woman deciding to walk away from him reads to him as an attack on who he is. That is when women end up like Tisha. Her family had watched this coming. They knew she was trying to leave. They were probably hoping she would get out in time. And they lost her anyway, not in some unpredictable accident, but in a way that feels unbearably close to something that could have been stopped. Michael Wilkerson was arrested and originally charged with capital murder, the most serious charge available. But the case did not go to trial. Wilkerson accepted a plea deal, and the charge was reduced to murder. The sentence handed down was 50 years in prison, 50 years for 9 bullets, 50 years for 4 shots in her back, 50 years for walking into a woman's workplace and ending her life because she was trying to leave him. Now, there are people who will say 50 years is not enough. There are people who will say the plea deal should never have been offered. And honestly, those conversations are worth having. Because Tisha King does not get 50 years. She does not get 10. She does not get another single day. She was 29 years old and she is gone, and no sentence handed down in a courtroom is going to change that for her family. But hey, he will not be walking free anytime soon. And for now, that is where this chapter ends. Shortly after Tisha was killed, her older brother Terrence Washington spoke. And in the middle of all that grief, all that pain, he said something so simple it stays with you. He said, "She was my happiness man." Not a long speech, not a rehearsed statement, just a brother, gutted, trying to put into words what it felt like to lose his sister. And those 5 words did it. Because that is who Tisha King was to the people who loved her. She was not just a name in a news report. She was somebody's happiness. She was somebody's person. And she is gone because she tried to leave a man who could not handle it. Girl. That is the part that has to stay with us. Not just the crime, not just the sentence, the reason. Because the moment Tisha decided she was done, the moment she chose herself, that became the thing that cost her her life. And that is not something we can just scroll past. There are women right now who are in the middle of that same decision. Women who are trying to figure out how to get out safely. Women who are scared that leaving will make things worse. And the truth, the hard, uncomfortable truth, is that the most dangerous moment in many of these relationships is not the worst fight. It is the exit. The moment a woman says she is done is often the moment the danger becomes the most real. Tisha's family knew she was trying to leave. They were watching her work toward it, and they still lost her. That is how quickly things can go from trying to free to gone. So if you are watching this and something in this story feels familiar, if something in your own life is sitting heavy on your chest right now, please talk to someone. Tell a friend. Tell a family member. Tell somebody who can help you make a plan, because leaving safely is something that takes a plan. You do not have to figure it out alone. Tisha King deserved more time. She deserved to get out and build whatever life was waiting for her on the other side of that relationship. She was 29 years old with her whole life ahead of her, and none of what happened to her was her fault. None of it. Her name was Tikisha King, and she deserved better. Rest easy, Tisha.